Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. I am going to talk to you a little bit about what I brought up on Twitter, on my Twitter page, and also to answer some of your guys' questions about how this came about, this stalking or domestic terrorism by this cult that has managed to get away with this for years and years and years. So I'll get to it. Back in 2005, 2006, I saw some commercials on Dianetic books, and I was intrigued. I thought they were kind of like self-help books, and I've always been a type of person to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I thought maybe this might give me a little bit more grounding, and I was interested in going to purchase some books. So I called them up, not even thinking anything of it. I thought it was just a normal religion. I didn't have a bone in my body feeling that I had anything to fear. So I gave them a call and I let them know, I'm Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic my whole life, and I had no intentions on switching religions or anything like that, but I was interested in the books, and if I could come out, and if there was a certain time they prefer for me to come out. So they were nice. They said, come on out, and I ended up going out there, and I picked out some books, and they asked for my information. They asked, I think, for basically all my personal information. I think I gave them my social. I may have given them my driver's license number. That's how trusting I was. I don't know for a fact, but I think I gave one or the other, if not both. And I thought, what harm could it be? They're a religion. They probably just have their mailing list, so I didn't think anything of it. And they were talking with me, and they started asking me some questions. They sat me down and they hooked me up to this machine, and I had like a little wire on it. And I took it, as a learning experience. I kind of also took it as, shits and giggles, because I felt like it was not at all genuine. I mean, I wasn't going to say that. At the time, I thought I had invested in something that was going to be fundamentally valuable, to me as a person. So I ended up leaving after that, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. Didn't think I'd ever have to go back. Didn't think I'd ever hear from these people. And lo and behold, I start getting inundated with calls. And these calls were for money. And I just remember the demeanor that came across on the phone was like, where's our money? It was kind of like that. It was as if I had their money and they wanted it. And but then they were like saying these are donations and blah blah blah. I was turned off because I didn't like their demeanor on the phone. I didn't like the fact that they just thought it was okay to start calling me nonstop about money all day into the night. And I saw it as a red flag. And it turned me off so bad because when I said no, normally no means no. Even if you tell like a Mormon when they're knocking on your door, you're like, oh no, thank you, or I'm Catholic, or whatever the case may be. Usually human beings that are not driven by an agenda or brainwashed by an agenda understand that no means no. And they have a sensibility about boundaries. Well, not this cult. They didn't stop. I was so turned off. I didn't even read the books. I ended up throwing them out. Threw them out. I didn't feel that it was wise for me to invest my time into reading whatever those books had to say. So that was the end of that. So I thought. After that, I had noticed 3 people and a group of people outside my house. I had been getting followed before that, stalked, whatever you want to call it, ferociously up and downtown. If I had to go down to downtown LA, then I ended up back in Santa Monica. They're like cockroaches. They will canvass an area. They will learn your routine, learn how you get from A to B to C during the day, where you work. They will infiltrate your phone. And I didn't realize that was happening until they actually had one of their members tell me this. I'm getting stalked. And in hindsight, I was thinking, what the hell happened? I went to go buy some books. I asked for permission. I let them know that I was raised Catholic my whole life. I couldn't quite understand why this was happening to me. And the only thing I can think of was that I got duped. Was I signed up without my knowledge? Did they think it was funny to do that? And resented the fact that I let them know I'm Catholic? I mean, I don't know how to make sense out of it. Because when it comes down to it, you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to join that shit show. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to be a slave, to be used for domestic terrorism, because that's what this fair game gang stalking is, that the police department seems to cover these monsters. They let it happen. They let these monsters run amok in our cities because Scientology is ran by the mob. If we want to just get right down to it. And the mob and communism and that are related within our governments, our deep state corruption. And all that contributes and has a connection to trafficking and pedophilia. And if we peel back the layers of Scientology, we discover they have problems with pedophilia. We have an actor who raped Ben Fellows, or raped one of the actors that was supposedly auditioning for a part. And this rape happened in a very violent, volatile, abusive way to this little boy. And it seems to be the theme of how people are raped in that cult. And I spoke about it in my past video with Serge Gill, who was in Florida at the time and had reported his abuse, sexual abuse, to the Clearwater, Florida police. So, I just want to say, because I can't go out on a tangent, because there's so much involved in this cult and what's gone on for years, things that have happened to me. In hindsight, the only way I could piece how this all came together was because I was duped. I was signed up without my knowledge, and now I was going to pay. And I was especially going to pay because I wasn't giving them the money that they were demanding from me when they demanded it. I also want to add that when these paid gang stalkers, because gang stalking is legal, deep state corruption, we have George W. Bush, was it George George Bush, Obama, Cheney, they signed on this. It's legal. For domestic terrorists, for people who are high-end criminals. I'm just a chick that got duped at Scientology. I guess I don't know how else to try to add it all up. But they also have this clause within their cult that says if somebody rejects the religion, talks openly out about the religion, speaks out about the religion, they become a suppressive, and then therefore they have every right to order out fair game. The members are ordered out to take out and carry out fair game on that target, which means they can assault you, they can kill you, they can mob you, they can vandalize your car, they can GPS your car, they can slander you when they find out, follow you, stalk you to where you work. They can sit outside your work all day until you come out so they can continue stalking you. The list goes on. They can get the maintenance men, the people in your building who are Scientology, to stalk you. I mean, we have surveillance in our building and it's been abused. Your apartment gets broken into and your stuff gets destroyed. The list goes on and on. And when you have the maintenance man repeating things he's not supposed to know that you've said in your apartment, and he thinks it's so funny, he thinks he's so cool, he thinks he's so empowered, he thinks he's so tough. You know, I just see a big ass coward. That's all I see is a big ass coward. So this fair game is taken very seriously, and it's no different than Antifa. You got paid domestic terrorists by the communists, you know, China, communism. Celebrities support this communism. We got Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, to name a few. They're all communists. They're into trafficking. Just look up Nicole Kidman, John Travolta, Tom Cruise, rapist, pedophiles. Will Smith, rapist, pedophile. David Miscavige, the biggest pedophile. And this is what they're doing to their children in the cult. Now, if you're a celebrity, that's not going to happen. Your job's going to be, they're going to use your image to get more idiots to join that cult so they can have little worker bee slaves take care of the business so it can flourish and do all this dirty work for events, get these events set up and stuff. Meanwhile, the whole trafficking and everything that goes on behind the scenes, you don't have to worry about that, because not only are the police aware of it, but our governor and mayor are aware of it, and our district attorney is aware of it, Jackie Lacey, who the police and none of them have ever had anybody charged with any of these crimes. Scientology is committing crimes, basic human right crimes violations, civil rights violations 24/7. And the police cover the corrupted end of our police, deep state of our police cover this. They cover this up with whatever it takes. And you better have money to get a lawyer, or else you will be destroyed. So the difference between Antifa, gang stalkers, domestic terrorism, and fair game domestic terrorists that are paid $100 a day by Scientology to carry out fair game on a target is the Scientology side. They have swarms of people throughout the city ready to attack, ready to stalk this target, to take down this target in whatever way that is possible that particular day. They have PIs and operatives and managers out in the field. This is a big organized crime that they get to run amok and orchestrate this every day. I've been told by public transportation, the train system here, that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who goes through this. They have cameras. They see the activity of these monsters from this cult just loitering all day, abusing the transportation system and the bus and train stations, and targeting individuals throughout the day, certain individuals throughout the day. The maintenance and security told me this. And, on top of that, we have to put up with all that loitering, sitting in cars all day, standing around all day, loitering at businesses. In my neighborhood, there's business owners who tell me this is going on. They know what's going on. And the police know, but it's secret. So we have domestic terrorism being carried out by hundreds and hundreds of people from fair game cult. This poor target doesn't even know what's happening to them. And if they're kidnapped or raped or killed, the police aren't going to do a damn thing about it. It's fair game. That's what they do. And the worst part is the police don't do anything about it is because a lot of these police officers are Scientologists. And somehow, I don't know if it's from the police or our governor or our mayor, they've incorporated fair game into how they handle the stalking and domestic terrorism with this cult. It all gets swept under the carpet. Back to Jackie Lacey. They've never ever persecuted anyone for all these crimes that go against civil and human rights for all these years that go on all day, all night. They're stalking people. They've only had one person prosecuted, and that was Masterson, some creep actor from the 70s show. They had to prosecute somebody because people were getting sick of this going on. And it wasn't going to be Tom Cruise, although I hope his day is coming. I hope I hope whatever God has in store for him, I hope his day comes along with this cult for what they do to people. This mob-ran cult, communist mob, gets most of their money from trafficking. And our governor, mayor, support this. Our governor, Gavin Newsom, is a pedophile and had the nerve to advertise his preference as a pedophile. He had a boy love symbol on his Twitter banner, which afterwards, when people got sick of seeing this and complained, he removed it. So we have pockets of communists, which are actors, celebrities, this fake cult, using a religious term to get all the benefits of a religion, abusing our communities, abusing and raping children in their cult, having prison camps. If someone dies and goes missing, forget about it. The cops aren't going to investigate. They're not going to prosecute anybody. It's going to be swept under the carpet. If there's evidence, the cops are going to tamper with it. They're going to delete it. And they're going to say it never existed. And don't say that doesn't happen, because it's happened to me. And until I can get some legal counsel, I have to sit back and continue taking the abuse. So I pray to God that I'll be able to face this and have a little bit of support so that I can get some legal backing, and I can move out of this hellhole where I'm getting completely stuck. So the difference, and I'm sorry I keep drifting away from that point that I was making earlier, but the difference between these Scientology stalkers, gang stalkers that stalk, and our domestic terrorists within our neighborhood is They target an individual. You have swarms of people throughout town of all age and backgrounds, ready to stalk, attack, assault a target. And the police let this go on. They let this terroristic organization that's hiding under a religious name conduct this. Now, Antifa, they have paid gang stalkers by communism, by these celebrity communists, and whatever tracking money, from trafficking, or whatever money they get from trafficking. You know, they all work together. The communism, the mob, they all work together. The Satanism, it's all part of it. And they pay these gang stalkers from Antifa to destroy our communities, to wage war on America. Because deep state corruption, because communism and the mob, they need someone to fight their battles, destroy our cities, to try to bully our president. While in the meantime, we have the coronavirus increasing and people getting more and more sick because of all that Antifa mess in Portland, Oregon. And we have the same fundamental foundation that is attributed to and contributes to Antifa, and the same fundamental foundation that contributes to Scientology's fair game gang stalking. It's the same criminality coming from the same foundation, from the same people in those foundations. Again, when we have an organization that's a cult, that's ran by the mob, communists, and it's connected to our deep state corruption, and has infiltrated our police, and people will try to play that game. Oh, gang stalking doesn't exist. Well, what did George W. Bush sign? What did Obama sign? What did they sign? What did Cheney sign? They signed for that to be legal. But it's for terrorists. It's for really, really bad people. Not for someone like me who got duped into going to, being signed up for Scientology when I would never, you couldn't pay me to join that cult. You couldn't pay me to join that shit show. Not all the money in the world. I can't stand corruption. I can't stand to see people suffer. And our president has all these devils that he has to put up with. Because when you have celebrities pretending, smiling in your face, trying to be all charismatic, just like pedophile Obama, just like pedophile Biden, and they give you a song and dance, it's a song and dance, it's a song and dance, but in the background, behind the scenes, you don't know what's coming to you. It's the same shit, different day, people. It's not hard to figure out. So don't try to tell me, oh, this doesn't happen. Fair game doesn't exist. Don't try to say, oh, gang stalking doesn't exist. Don't make me pull out my gang stalking manual that states exactly which politicians and presidents signed this gang stalking bill and which police are involved in cover-ups, which chief officers. There's a whole list of departments within our government. It's deep state corruption is all it is. When this is used as communism against America to wage war against America, like Antifa, it's the same thing. From the same foundation, same criminality. It's being abused. And what's going on with Scientology and fair game, them doing the same thing to a target, hundreds and hundreds of people. If you decide to go from one city to the next, they're going to have people in that city waiting for you. This is how sick it is. And when they're out there waiting for you, don't think they're not going to try to gaslight you. Don't think they're not going to try to do something that's going to hurt you. Because they want to see if you're going to react. They're going to see if you're going to do something. Me personally, I know how it works. Sideways, frontwards, backwards. And when they've assaulted me, they will surround you. You'll be surrounded with street theater and just people who are pretending they're regular people. And when they do assault you, nobody saw nothing. It's part of the whole fair game. and they're just waiting for you to hit back because you're going to get in trouble because it's just you and it's all of them. So they want to bait you. So listen, when I've been assaulted, I take it. I play possum and I take it. The last time when I was trying to walk across the street to the store and I got my ass beat, this girl happened to have a canister or something very hard in her hand and she hit me with it. And I got part of it on video. Well, the police won't even go to that business to get the video that the business recorded from afar to capture everything. The police don't want this to come out. And the funny thing is, they told me they would do it. And what's even more funnier is that when they told me and lied to me that my assault on a public transportation system was deleted, it didn't exist. Detective Lou told me this. It's deleted. I knew they were lying to me. And I ended up getting the video evidence, which I played on YouTube. And in fact, Sergeant Skyver said, once you get that, if you want to give me a copy, give me a copy. Well, I didn't give him a copy. I had the company send him a copy. And Sergeant Skyver said they were going to try to find out who's doing this to me. And Detective Lou told me he was going to go to this business in my neighborhood and get the video of me getting assaulted when I'm walking across the street. Did any of that happen? No. Did they get their video? Did I make sure they got their video of the assault on the public transportation? Yes. Did they lie to me? Yeah. Are they trying to cover up and lie to me about video assaults that I've experienced? Absolutely. Is this okay? This is not okay. So that's it, guys. I hope I was clear on how this all came about. All I can say is if you have children, always keep an eye on your children. If you have loved ones and you're not Scientology, I would suggest really considering not sacrificing your life to an organization ran by the mob. And I just did a video on a young man named Gil, or Serge Gil, who between the ages of 12 and 15 was raped and forced to role play sexual abuse with pedophiles, known pedophiles, even prison wardens. He was put in a prison camp. The abuse goes on. And the way they rape children is the same way Tom Cruise raped a young boy actor. It was either Ben Fellows or an actor that was with Ben Fellows in a group for an audition. And that's something I'm going to talk separately about. So everybody take care of yourselves during this time. I hope I didn't leave anything out. And God bless and take care of each other.